All right, let's talk first contact. I mean, it's the ultimate science fiction question, right? What happens when we finally meet someone else? Well, today we're going to dive into two totally different but equally brilliant fictional stories that tackle that very idea. One comes from the cold, silent dark of deep space, and the other? Well, the other comes from the fiery depths right under our feet. So, yeah, let's get into it. A journey to the stars and to the center of the Earth.
So here's the game plan. First up, we'll set the scene with our two very different visitor scenarios. Then, we're going to look at the quiet, mysterious watcher from the stars. After that, we'll jump into the absolute chaos of an uprising from below. Then we'll smash them together, compare how humanity reacts in both cases, and wrap it all up by asking, what do these stories really tell us about us?
The core theme here is pretty simple. How do we, as a species, react to something we completely don't understand? We're going to use these two stories as a kind of lens, a way to see how we might handle two totally different kinds of first contact. One's a cosmic mystery, and the other, well, it's basically a revolt from our own planet.
So just imagine this for a second. While all of our smartest people are staring up at the sky, trying to figure out some silent message from a cosmic traveler, the ground, literally the ground under our cities, starts to shake. Suddenly, the threat isn't just out there, it's also down there. That's the wild premise we're exploring today.
Okay, so picture this. In one corner, we've got 3I, Atlas. It's this mysterious object, comes from way outside our solar system. And get this, it's older than Earth. Is it a messenger, a scout, or, maybe just a rock? And in the other corner, we've got the Subterraneans. They're basically an ancient branch of humanity that's been chilling in lava tunnels for thousands of years, and now they've decided they want the surface back. Yeah, you can think of them as super angry landlords who've just served us all an eviction notice.
Let's start by looking up. Let's talk about the silent, cosmic mystery of 3I/Atlas. The whole vibe here is full of awe and wonder, and maybe just a little bit of existential dread. This is the serious, high-concept side of our little comparison.
So, what's the big deal with 3I/Atlas? Well, for starters, it was spotted back in 2025, and it's on what scientists call a hyperbolic trajectory. That's just a fancy way of saying it's not sticking around. It's a one-time visitor, just swinging by our solar system. But here's the really mind-bending part. Its origin. It's from the galactic thick disk. We're talking about a part of the galaxy that's so incredibly old, it was around long before our planet was even a thing. And that origin story raises this really hopeful, almost poetic idea. Maybe Atlas isn't some alien invader, but more like a cosmic ancestor. There's this theory called Panspermia, which suggests that life could actually hitch a ride on comets, spreading its building blocks all over the cosmos. So this thing, it could be like a cosmic postman, carrying the same ingredients that maybe sparked life right here on Earth, billions of years ago. So basically, humanity's looking at three main possibilities. Option one is, the boring one. It's just a rock. Option two is the hopeful one. It's a carrier of life, like a cosmic Johnny Appleseed. But then you've got option three. And this is the one that's keeping military planners up at night. It's a reconnaissance probe, a scout, sent here to watch us.
And this quote just nails the whole dilemma, doesn't it? The object is completely silent. There are no radio signals, no take me to your leader, nothing. But that silence is what's so unnerving. It could be an empty silence, or it could be the silence of something watching, waiting from the shadows, right before it makes its move.
Okay, deep breath. We're about to do a complete 180. We are leaving the quiet, intellectual mystery of deep space, and we're diving headfirst into pure, high-energy, satirical chaos. Let's jump forward to the year 2089 and talk about the uprising of the Subterraneans. Okay, so who are these guys? You gotta hear this. They're apparently an ancient offshoot from our own evolutionary tree who decided, we're gonna go live deep underground in lava tunnels. They've got phosphorescent skin, glowing golden eyes, and after a few thousand years of stewing down there in the dark, they've decided we've totally messed up the planet, and they want it back.
So just when you think it's all over, humanity's savior shows up. And no, it's not someone from NASA. It's Commander Reza Usta from, wait for it, the Turkish division of the Galactic Federation. He just pops in, takes one look at the mess, and says something that basically translates to an exhausted, "Oh, for crying out loud, what have you done now? You've gone and buried the whole planet."
And what is humanity's big response to this crisis? not some coordinated global defense strategy. Oh no, it is, and I swear I'm not making this up, a laser drone mether band. You heard me, a traditional Ottoman military marching band, but it's made of drones that shoot lasers, in time with the music. It is every bit as ridiculous and amazing as it sounds.
And of course, since this is the near future, you can't have a world-ending battle without somebody live tweeting it, right? So naturally, right in the middle of all this chaos, Elon Musk just has to chime in with a perfectly on-brand, "I told you so," about his whole tunneling company thing.
So how do you defeat a threat like this? Not with some super advanced physics, that's for sure. Nope, you defeat it with something the story calls Turkish logic. See, when the Subterraneans hit the Federation ship with their magnetic weapons, Commander Riza's custom software override doesn't, do the normal reboot thing. Instead, it just flashes a message on the screen, "Put the kettle on, I'm coming." And that's it. It's so completely illogical, so human, so hospitable, that the Subterraneans' purely logical weapons just can't handle it. The system crashes. It is completely absurd, and it totally works.
Okay, let's pull back and look at the big picture here. We've got two completely different threats, and now we get to the real heart of it all, putting these responses right next to each other to see what they say about us.
I mean, the contrast here is it's stunning. When we're faced with this silent thing from space, our response is so calculated, right? We're talking global plasma shields, AI defense nets, trying to communicate through the universal language of math. But when we're faced with our angry underground cousins, it's just mass confusion, hoping for a bailout from spacefaring Turks, and of course, the laser drone marching band.
And what this table really boils it down to is that our reaction is all about the perceived motive of the visitor. With 3I Atlas, the motive is a total mystery. Is it a messenger or a scout? So we react cautiously, scientifically, with a lot of calculation. But with the Subterraneans, their motive is crystal clear. You guys trashed our home and we want it back. It's a direct complaint, so our reaction is just as direct, and fittingly chaotic, emotional, and totally improvised.
So, after all the cosmic mystery and all the subterranean absurdity, what's the actual takeaway? What do these two visions, one so serious and one so satirical, really say about who we are when we're faced with something we truly don't know?
Even in the middle of all that absurdity, the story of the Subterraneans hits you with this really powerful kind of sad line. The Subterranean leader, after being defeated, points out this fundamental truth. He says the biggest threat they faced wasn't our technology, but our own internal divisions. The visitors just held up a mirror to our own conflicts.
And that's really what stories like this are all about, isn't it? It doesn't matter if it's a silent rock from the stars or a glowing landlord from a lava tube. The other, the visitor, is always just a mirror. They force us to look at ourselves, to really question our place in the universe, how we treat our own planet, and how we treat each other.
And that leaves us with this really profound question from the Atlas story, but honestly, it fits both of them perfectly. When we look up at the stars or down into the Earth, are we really the hosts here? Or are we just guests, temporary visitors on a planet that's part of a much, much older and bigger cosmos? That's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.